congregants to have phones for their businesses, as long as it wasn't inside the home. Sadly, more and more Amish needed cell phones for work purposes, because more Amish men were forced to work in the Englisher world for financial reasons. But those phones were never left on or carried in pants pockets. They were stowed in pantry drawers and more creative places. One of his neighbors stored his in his chicken house. Joshua saw no point in calling the harness shop and relaying a message to Rosemary in the house, because if the cousin had decided not to come, how would Rosemary know? From what his stepmother had said, Phoebe came from an extremely conservative Amish community in Pennsylvania. She certainly didn't have a telephone. Joshua glanced at the man at the cash register again. He was wearing a camouflage t-shirt and pants, and a bright orange knit cap, advertising some kind of sports drink. Despite the clothes, he didn't look like much of a hunter. "You sure you haven't seen an Amish girl?" Joshua asked. "She would have come inside. It's too cold to wait out there. Probably wearing a black bonnet and long black cloak," he said, trying to jog the man's memory. The guy placed his meaty hands on the counter and leaned forward. "Look, buddy, I haven't seen any gal in prairie wear today. I know what your people look like. They come in once in a while." Debating what to do, Joshua watched the customer who'd been looking over the candy approach the register. He'd gone with the chocolate peanut butter cups. Joshua liked those too. A door opened in the back of the store, and a woman's voice caught his attention. "Ach, you're so welcome." She had a Pennsylvania Dietsch lilt to her words. The language, which was equivalent to High German, was what his people spoke. Joshua turned to see an Amish woman in a black bonnet and black floor-length wool coat, holding a baby bundled in a blanket. There was an Englisher woman with her who was wearing over her head a brightly colored scarf that covered her hair. "I hope your father is here soon," the Amish woman said to the other woman. Then she raised the little one in her arms and peered into his face. The baby looked to be about 5 or 6 months old. "Nice to meet you, Amir. Be a good boy for your mama." She passed the baby to the Englisher. "Phoebe?" Joshua called across the store. "Phoebe Miller?" "Yeah?" The Amish woman turned to him, seeming as surprised by Joshua as he was of her. He'd had a picture in his mind of what Rosemary's cousin would look like. A meek mouse of a girl, small, plump, and plain, with dishwater brown hair and maybe wire-frame spectacles. He supposed what Rosemary said about her being sent away by her parents had brought him to those conclusions. But this Phoebe was neither plump nor plain. And she was no mouse of a girl. She was tall, almost as tall as he was, and pretty, with corn-silk blonde hair and startling blue eyes. "Where were you?" he asked, walking toward her. His tone came out as curt, more because he was taken off guard by her appearance than because he was annoyed that he hadn't been able to find her. "I've been looking for you." Phoebe turned to the young woman with the child and said something he couldn't hear. The Englisher woman walked away, taking a different aisle toward the front of the store. "Do you have a suitcase?" Joshua asked Phoebe. Now that he had found her, he was eager to get home. They had to stop at Byler's on the way out of town to pick up some groceries for his stepmother. If he hurried, he might still have time to talk with Bay before it was time to feed up for the evening. Phoebe picked up a large canvas duffel bag off the floor and walked toward him. "Who are you?" "Joshua Miller." He put out his hand to take her bag, but she pulled it out of his reach. "Rosemary Miller's son." She narrowed her eyes, blue eyes with thick, dark lashes. "Her son is a little boy, Jesse," she said suspiciously. "And then she has the babes," she added. He rolled his eyes, adjusting his wide-brimmed black hat to get a better look at her. That she was awfully pretty being his first conclusion. And spirited was his second. Again, not